Welcome to Real Estate and Taxes with Lakshay. I will be helping you minimize your taxes. Thank you for joining in on our Tuesday session on real estate and taxes. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 things you need to keep in mind before buying a business. To start off, we're going to be first talking about the agenda for today. We're going to be talking about qualitative factors, the manpower requirements, the financial history, which is the quantitative factors, followed by the capital requirements to buying a business, the integration with AI, followed by a conclusion. So whenever you're buying a business, the very primary thing you should be considering is the digital assets. What do I mean by digital assets? This could be your TikTok account, your social media like Instagram, your Facebook, as well as your Google reviews. This is where your make or break stands. Why? Because most of the time, people would actually search up your business online and see if they have good Google ratings. If your business does not have good Google ratings or standings, then nobody would want to be working with you. So that is one of the only things that I would want to check when it comes to qualitative factors. The second thing you want to check is the website. You can look at SEMrush and some of the other websites which gives you the traffic on the website. This traffic is basically will show you how many visitors are coming to your website or are even searching the keywords that are on the website. So make sure to look into this before pulling the trigger. Sometimes when the business owner is too old, their network or their primary clientele is also mature. If they're also maturing, most likely they're actually going to retire or even pass away. So do that due diligence and look at the demographic of your customers before buying the business. Now that we have understood what are some of the digital requirements, the reputation and goodwill, I would want you to shift your attention towards manpower requirements. Manpower means simply how is the business being run? Does it have a frontline staff, supervisor and team lead, or is it just being run by the owner operator? I personally would not want to invest in a business that does not have an organizational structure, which has maybe a CTO, a co-founder, or CFO. Because reason being, that business is probably too small and is a headache to handle. Whereas other businesses like, which has this kind of an org structure, you can technically work on them and grow the business, find efficiencies. So from that kind of perspective, look at how the manpower is set up, how the org structure is set up before buying any business. Number 3 that you would want to look at is financials. Whenever you put in an offer, you should be putting a due diligence condition in the offer when you're buying a business. This will include, checking the pending lawsuits, the tax compliance certificate, the lease agreements, or any other contracts with vendors that are coming to an end or are expiring. Besides due diligence phase, you also want to look at financials, which is your income statement and balance sheet. You need to look at what are the accounts receivable and accounts payable. So that cycle should also be carefully looked at before, making the final decision. When it comes to income statement, I would want to consider the cost of goods sold and the gross margin. The higher the gross margin, the more opportunity you have to find efficiencies and actually grow and scale the business. And I highly recommend, working with a professional who would actually request these types of documents and actually help you find if there are any irregularities or any problems within the business. Now that we have understood the financial requirements, what are the requirements when it comes to capital investment to buying the business? That would be number 4. The capital requirement requires you to have a very good credit score. Whether it be above 680 for Business Development Bank of Canada or above 740 for any other banking or lending institutions, you need to have them on your side. Reason being, whenever you're buying a business, you need to come up with 35% yourself, but 65% of that total sale price would be financed by one of these lenders. So if you don't have a good credit score, nobody will be able to lend you any money. So I would highly recommend working with a good accountant to help you present the financial history and projections to the lender so they have good comfort as to how you can pay them and within the timeline. Great opportunity there as well. There's also some other businesses where equipment financing can be 125%. Highly recommend, look into those businesses because they're basically, a smooth sailing, right? Last but not the least is vendor financing. Whenever you are actually buying a business, you can either go outside and third party get a loan from the bank, or you can actually have the seller finance the deal. What does this mean? You can ask the seller to extend you a loan, and you can repay the loan to the seller once you have purchased the property from the profits that you've made from the business. This is called vendor financing, and I highly recommend you look into this because the cost might be favorable to you. Last but not the least is the expansion criteria and integration with AI. In this scenario, I want you to have a look at, is it a physical asset business or a digital asset business? Is it a retail business where you have to continuously open new locations, or can it be done online? Does this business operate on a product, or does a business operate on a service business? If you ask me, I like the hybrid model of working where I don't have to always go to work. So I like an online business that is technically service based and has a lots of digital assets. Whenever you're buying a business, one thing you would want to consider is, can this business be franchised? And maybe I'm operating in Ontario. Can this be in Vancouver? Can this be in Alberta as well? So from the scalability perspective, definitely do a brainstorming session before buying the business. In conclusion, lots of people ask me that, hey, can you find me a business where I don't have to go and it's run as an absentee owner? Well, the answer is no. The employees can technically run your business, but they cannot grow the business. You as the business owner have to be involved in some sort of capacity in order to take the business to the next level. If your business search does not align with your passion, you might see yourself not being actively involved. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I've noticed business owners make. Besides your realtor, I would highly also recommend working with your accountant, lawyer, or any local bankers to find out what are some of the businesses that they might know of, and the owner is probably migrating to a different company or wants to retire, and they can also connect you with the right person or the right business. Try to work with them as well. There's usually a local chamber of commerce too, which you can basically participate in and find out about these new types of businesses that are running successfully. I'm leaving you with a website called businessforsale.com that has a lot of opportunity to look and browse through. So I would highly recommend look through the website. Once you find the business, reach out to us for the due diligence, and we can help you even create a business plan that can help you get the best financing from the bank. And with that, I'd like to wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining in on today's session. We'll see you next week on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Thank you.